Hey chat, how we doing today? I just got home from doing a side quest on a Sunday, but now I have 4 bags of potting soil and a brazier, so successful side quest, I guess. Hello Foxy, how you doing? You and your cute little emotes. They are actually absolutely adorable. Like, I know they're not technically your emotes. I know they're Pixies, but they're adorable regardless. Anyway, time for suffering. So yesterday I finished the other, well, I say finished, got as close to finishing the other animation as I could. If I go into, where is it? That's the rolling ball one. I want the object characters. Also, I had to change the names of these because, as it turns out, the last format that I had this for, like, it was 05A or whatever, and it turned to 06 instead of incrementing on the end like I'd prefer it to. So that's a little bit annoying. But I have actually done this, which I hope is good enough for the instructor. I might need to tweak it a little bit further, but I think it's decent. Probably needs like a slightly longer drop off on the end, but that's about it. So today we are going to do some ball interaction. Foxy, do not take that out of context. We're going to have a bowling ball roll down the slope and then hit the basketball, which is also going to be bouncing here, and then the basketball is going to be launched off this ramp. That's the idea anyway. So, just do the usual starting stuff. Hit to available, only active keying set. And I'd like to point out too, while I'm here, chat, is I'm invariably going to have to rotate these as well. So even... Okay, it's not playing ball. Let's try this. Let's try... Probably here. 205 degrees. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is, first of all, to make myself suffer, but second of all, when I roll this along the ramp, it's going to be more obvious that it's actually rolling. So, I'm just going to save this. Actually, no, I'm not going to save this here. No point. Now, I think probably animating the bowling ball is going to be the easiest one so far. I can animate the basketball in a bit, but without the information from the bowling ball, I can't bounce the basketball off the bowling ball. So, close mode for this. Okay, what the fuck is going on? Why will it not stop buffering? It doesn't seem like I'm having any problems on my end, so it might be a you problem. I disconnected my internet and reconnected it, still just non-stop spinning. That's some bullshit. I'm not sure if you can hear me, I'll just type it in chat. I don't know if you can hear me, but I've written it chat in case you can't. Now, so something I've learned from the last assignment, which is the vanilla drops, is that my drop was in fact way too fast. So for when I drop this down, I'm going to have to drop it slightly slower. So instead of 12 frames, I'm going to do like maybe 15 or something like that. Just like something that's slightly slower. I know it's a bowling ball, but as we learned already, all things being dropped in a vacuum drop at the same speed. So it was on auto, which usually doesn't have an issue, so I'm not sure why it was doing that. Yeah, Twitch can be janky on auto sometimes, I've learned. So usually what's best, instead of going auto, it's usually better to go source. It's working now that I switched over. Yeah, Twitch just does that sometimes. I couldn't tell you why it was. Oh no, okay. I accidentally did the wrong thing. That's supposed to be in pose mode. Supposed to be this one specifically. So we know that's the actual one. So insert single keyframe here. Insert single keyframe here. Now for whatever reason, if I swap over to this one, it turns into object mode. Unusual, it's not supposed to do that. So make sure that's set to 0. And insert single keyframes on these. So I don't think there's any others I need to do right this second. So this is like that. We'll go to frame 15. And that will probably be the first contact point. Make sure it's actually hitting the slope. Right there. And then from here, so the next frame that I want to contact is this point here. So if okay, let's just get rid of that. We'll go back to frame 1. So the first contact point, this is going to sound strange without me being able to... Well, I say it's going to say strange. I've already done the first 2 keyframes. So the first keyframe is this one here, which is the initial position. The second keyframe is where it lands on the ramp. Third keyframe is probably going to be right here. Fourth keyframe is... Do I need to put a keyframe on contact? I'm going to say maybe. And then next point of movement's going to be this one absolutely, because it's probably going to roll up here slightly. And then probably like around about here before it goes back down to the same keyframe here. And then like rolls to a stop however far, maybe around here. My boyfriend gave me a... I'm not going to try to pronounce that because I know for a fact that if I did, I'd probably get cancelled. Which is something I've never had before, and oh my lord, was it good? What is it exactly? Like, I know it's a flan. I'm going to try it anyway. Puto flan. Hopefully I put emphasis on the O. Well, enough emphasis, rather. So... the next one, which I'm going to make an additional note here, I'm going to change this to be, say, magenta. Another relatively high contrast color. So the basketball here, so the first keyframe is definitely going to be there. Then it's going to hit the ground first before bouncing back up again. And I'm going to say that the required bounce is probably going to be about 40% of the initial height before going back down again, and by the time it goes back down a second time, it should contact the bowling ball around here, and then that should then go off to the side here, and then obviously I need a midpoint, so like obviously it's gonna finish off somewhere further along. Or even just a little bit steeper. So it's gonna probably have like a keyframe around here to change the direction. Hey, Likely Autistic, how are you doing? I'm not exactly sure what it's made of. I know he told me, but I forgot because you know how bad my memory is. Yep, we're all like that sometimes. But it tasted like a fluffy cake in a way. Oh, that's pretty neat. Yeah, I'll have to look it up later. I'll just add that to the list of things I need to do. So yeah, the idea is have the bowling ball go down here, and by the second bounce of the basketball, it should collide with this one and then be thrown off to the side. That's the general idea anyway. So I already got first keyframe here. So the second keyframe, make it 5 frames later. I have a pic of what it looked like. I'll send it to you. Okay, Foxy, can you do me a favor as well while you're sending that? Could you just send me a message just to remind me to update the stream schedule for next week? Because I have like 3 appointments that are all within stream hours, and I do need to block those days off. Okay, grab this, move that down. Here, I believe, is the last point where it contacts this particular slope. And then it probably takes around 10 frames to roll over to this side here. Might not take that long, but we'll see what the bounce is like on the basketball before we make any changes. I probably don't need a keyframe here for the bowling ball. So take about another 10 frames, because I can just edit this later. Is this a simulation or is it frame by frame? The requirements for this assessment are frame by frame. Okay. Thank you, Foxy. I appreciate it. The way that this is just being done so I can have a more realistic idea of how movement works in a frame by frame, because when I go to animating walk cycles and like other body related animations later, having things like follow through and all that's important. So that is up here, and then grab that back down this way. Actually, I can sort of cheese this a little bit. So frame 30 here. What I can do is I can duplicate this specific keyframe here. I can duplicate and go to frame 50 on that. So I'm obviously going to need to edit that in a bit, but that's fine. And then say frame 60, just G, then X that, so it ends around here. It's going to have a lot of editing to do, but it's compared to yesterday's one, I think this one might be slightly easier because I'm not dealing with multiple platforms. I know the instructor said that this was this would be roughly the same difficulty, but I think he might be slightly talking out of his ass. Okay, how did that happen? Oh, okay. That is started in the wrong position. I think I keyframed the wrong thing. Possibly. Wait a minute, how did this even happen? I don't even know how I moved it in the y-axis. So, okay, I definitely need to edit this. Alright, let's see what we've got. Now, something I do need to keep in mind is that there is probably going to be a bounce on this. So, right back here, where it starts to go with wonky. So it like immediately clips into there. The starting position for this one needs to go down a bit. Where is the... Okay, it's like sitting right there. What a weird spot for that to be in. Actually, this probably needs to be linear. So if I set the pen type to vector on this and then vector on this one, it still goes further down than I would like. Okay, let's try setting these to vector as well and see if that helps. Okay, yep, there we go. It is clipping into the floor more. I'd rather it not. Okay, maybe this needs to be moved. Ah, that's actually in the wrong position. I think... Oh, Cyclone, I got a couple of shinies today. Oh, really? On Pokemon Go? Which ones did you get? Litleo and Slowpoke? Okay, those are pretty decent. Isn't Litleo a minimal shiny though? Like, I know Slowpoke isn't. But isn't Litleo a minimal shiny, or is it actually a different color? Yeah, it's still floating in the air. This actually needs to be changed. Actually, I think it's the X that I was supposed to get on this one. Okay, so now, if I do this... Kinda, yeah, it pretty much just gets lighter in color, lol. Oh, okay. So it's just one of those ones. Alright. Cool. So if I play this... Oh, almost forgot the simplify mode. Alright, so this needs to be... These two need to be changed to... Well, just this one specifically. There you go. And this one needs to be scaled up. So the idea is to have more frames at the top to give the implication of momentum. So when it's at the top, it should be picking up speed before it hits basically the maximum down the bottom. I can actually calculate half. That should be good. In fact, I'd probably even go as far to say as I could take one frame off this. Right. Actually, I'd probably go as far to say is that the color gets a bit drained from it, really. Like, I know color paling is fairly common in Pokemon Shinies, especially in the later generations, but I didn't think it was that sort of issue. Like, I know, was it like Gengar and that sort of thing had that particular problem? Okay, so I need to improve the movement on, I believe it's... Where's the first one that this happens on? 30. This should be over considerably. And then this one, I need to duplicate here. And then this one, I need to move across again. Okay, it's doing this again. I'm sorry, I did not give you permission. Go away. You know what? I'm gonna go as far as to lock that, actually. Because it should not be doing that. Don't you dare give me shit again. Update paths. Alright, that should be fine. So it goes down, bounces across. This needs to be a linear movement pattern as opposed to a curved one. So if we go back this way. Grab both of these and turn them into the vector style. So now it does this. It should go, yeah, straight up. And then from here it should go straight back down. So if I grab these, turn those to vector. The problem is now that's going... Oh, right, because I changed the position of this one. So if I do this now, it's doing the curve again. I do not want it to do the curve. Please stop doing the curve, Blender. I guess the handle's not changed. There we go, that's a bit better. I sent you a pic of the two side by side. Did you really? Oh wow, it's like, it's a slightly goldish color, but it has no, like, it barely makes a difference. And I know the only reason I can really see is because the computer screen I have on the right just has a little bit more color gradients on it. Like, if that was a regular ass phone, I would not be able to tell the difference. And then this one slows to a stop at the end, which is all good. So now, if I play this... Okay, it's like way too fast. Also, it accelerates in the middle, and it should not be. So, why is that accelerating? Alright, these two should probably be vectored. Like, it feels like this entire thing should be vectored, quite frankly. And then these should be moved in a bit. Yeah, I just need to do the end as well. So this probably doesn't need to take that many, so -5. Update paths. And then -5 on that. No, wrong one. -5 on that one. So now that should move across. I feel like that should be scaled in at the top so it slows. And then it accelerates the other direction. So this one here. So that moves up here. This one needs to be scaled in quite a bit. Oh, and another thing I got was 2 hundos. Oh, okay, for what? Like, depending on what it could be, it could be really good for competitive and that sort of thing. The only decent, like, actual hundo that I got was Giratina Origin. That's the only good hundo I ever got. They were both quite surprised, really. Okay, maybe... Plop from a research task in Litleo from the wild. It's not the shiny, is it? Or is it a different one? I didn't even know how I got the Piplup, really. Ooh, Pokemon, I'm currently modeling a Vaporeon. Yeah, I saw you modeling the Cheshire Cat yesterday. I went and had a look at your channel. Looks pretty good so far. Loki didn't remember getting it from the research, really. I feel like you would probably remember if you got it started from research. Okay, that needs to be... Also, no, the Litleo wasn't the shiny one. That's unfortunate. Like, I feel like a Shundo is one of those things that really does give you bragging rights. Let's do individual. So that should... that. Probably need to do that to compensate. Might have to be on the Z. I thought I turned off saving VODs. It do be like that sometimes. Man, you just got jabaied by Twitch, huh? Unfortunate. Okay, I need to... do that. Okay, a little bit further down. Okay, it's still got a bit of a curve to it, and I don't quite enjoy that. So I'm gonna edit that one, I'm gonna edit the X. Me who has a Shundo Black Huron with a background, not to brag or anything, that's a little braggy. Come on, Foxy. You say not to brag, but we all know what it really means to get something of that high quality. Okay, update paths. It's flipping and slightly. Also, that goes up probably a bit too fast. Come on, I think I'm allowed to brag it about just a little since it's my first and only Shundo. I mean, to be fair, I believe it's Huron Black. That's a pretty good Shundo to have. Then there's my boyfriend who has 10 of them. I have not gotten a single Shundo in the entire several years I've been playing that game. It's only my third day modeling, so your opinion might change. I mean, hey, we all gotta start somewhere. I know it's like a whole trust the process thing, but to be fair, I barely even trust myself, so I get it. Okay, I'm gonna scale these out a bit. That's exactly how I was before I got that surprise Huron from the Unova Global event. Yeah, I've not been that lucky. I really wanted a Shundo Giratina of Origin. I mean, like, I got the Hundo, but I didn't get the Shundo, so... Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. It just happens. So this thing is not being very cooperative, is it? All I wanted to do was just scale this out a bit. Oh, I accidentally... Oh wait, no, that's correct. But for some reason, it added a curve. Why did it add a curve? It shouldn't have added a curve. That is going to be the smoothest song transition I've ever heard. I know damn well it's a different song, but that is impressive. I'm sure you'll get one day. That's what happened to me. I basically gave up on hope on ever getting one myself, and then the game blessed me with Furum. I feel like if I were to get a Shundo, it would be something that wouldn't be immediately obvious. Like, Shundo Gengar or something like that. Like, something that doesn't appear as shiny. You know? That's the type of luck that I have. Now, I need to figure out... I'm sure it won't look bad, at least you have a little experience. Yeah, Foxy has... To be honest, Foxy has no idea what either of us are doing. Like, Foxy is entirely blind when it comes to 3D modeling. And honestly, bless him for that. Oh wait, I'm dumb. I'm supposed to be doing these both at the same time. So, I'm going to grab these and auto-clamp them. Alright, now I so badly want to learn though. I mean, like, I can give you some resources to start. I have been trying to upgrade the Discord server so I can post things like just like Blender learning resources to it. It's, you know how my brain is sometimes. Sometimes the ability to just get up and do things skedaddles, and I'm just like, huh. Well, okay then, I guess. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I've got a couple of things. Like, I've got a stream announcements role set. I'm setting up one. I'm setting up a Blender role as well. Among other things, I'm going to be... Let's see. Probably around about here. Make that be a little bit further up. Now, if I update that... Yeah, that's better. But, yeah, I have things like... I'll just quickly give a little preview. So, I've got a projects one that I'm gonna post what I'm currently doing to the Discord, so I have some sort of accountability. And I have a channel for Blender stuff, so it'll be resources, suggestions for future projects that I do on stream, you know, all that sort of fun stuff. Like, I do have plans, it's just, my unconfirmed ADHD-riddled ass just could not decide on what to do, unfortunately. Okay, let's have a look at this. Yeah, that's a bit better. Now, this one, I need to scale and the expert. Because the idea is to have this, have more frames at the end. In fact, I might even move this further, because bowling balls obviously heavy, they've got a lot of momentum. My ADD wants to push ahead without really understanding, so I'm forcing myself to slow it down and repeat similar things. Honestly, that's probably the best way to do it. I would not recommend what I'm currently doing, which is just full sending the bitch. Because... Okay, here's a little bit of cyclonic lore for those who are not in the know. I have lost my eyesight multiple times. I am trying to learn animation to the point where I could make... Always with the... Whoa! I didn't even notice until you pointed it out. The Circus music started playing when I was talking about the fact that I've gone blind multiple times. Why does this playlist keep doing me dirty like this? Oh, I hate this playlist. I'm like 5 seconds from removing the circus music from it, but it's just so funny. I got a happy Mother's Day text for being a cat mom. Good morning. Hey dear, how you doing? Hopefully you're doing better than you were yesterday, given the current circumstances. As for me, I just got mocked by my own playlist once again. Anyway, as I was saying, now that the music has turned to something a bit more appropriate, I've lost my eyesight multiple times, and unfortunately my eyes are still doing some weird things. I mean, I still don't know what the fuck is going on ceasefire-wise. Yeah, as I said in that message, that ceasefire lasted about as long as my attention span does on a good day. But I want to at least try and get some sort of character animation out in case I lose my eyesight more permanently this time around. I don't know when the surgery for my eyes is going to be. It's just readjustment of glaucoma tubes, but you know how it is sometimes. The more something gets faffed about with, the more likely it is to break. So that's good, but it needs to roll to a better stop. Can't fucking believe always with the circus music. Every time. I'm trying to ignore the media and eat my breakfast in peace for a second. Well, I mean, is there anything that you would prefer me to talk about, dear? Something to help you take your mind off things? Damn, I'm sorry you had to go through with it. Yeah, it's really rough for her at the moment. I think I owe it to myself to give my brain a break. Absolutely. Why? Hopefully. Alright, so where does this... Oh, that, like, really launches it. I don't really want it to go that far. I probably even need to extend this out a bit. Let's do that amount. I can probably scale this a little bit. So now it should roll. Yeah, and be slightly slower on the outtake. I can't say there's any particular topics I prefer to hear about. I'm just trying not to go insane. Dear, would you like me to pull up a bird image for you to have a look at on stream? I'm blinded playlist. Yeah, it really do be like that. Like, that is a very accurate representation of my life. Sure, I don't mind a bird. Oh, I think I've got an idea. I believe it's called... I just need to remember what the name of this particular one is. It's not... Where is it? There's a particular type. Is it this one? I love how, like, I've completely gone sidetracked for just quickly look for bird photos, and I can't even be mad because this is just what I do on a regular basis. There we go. Have a nice orange and red hummingbird. Look at how small he is. Oh my god, I was just looking at Discord, I'm laughing at Blue's status. Like, what the fuck is that status? What is Word's status? The unfortunate thing is, I know for a fact, judging from that status alone, that she is currently in the middle of a mental breakdown. I'm sorry about that. Likely, looks like Nightbot is just being a little bit triggered. My apologies. Oh, Borb. There's indeed a bird. Yeah, I sent a photo. I'm gonna show this to the rest of chat as well. I'm not gonna open the Discord server directly though. So I sent a picture to the chat yesterday of what's called a kereru, or a New Zealand wood pigeon. So if I open this. So this is a New Zealand wood pigeon. Look at the roundness of this man. Look at that. This is a New Zealand pigeon. For those of you who don't know, I do what's often referred to by everyone else as bird posting. Like, I just have bird images on tap, so if there is anything bird related, Just Mary plays the most dramatic music ever, on God. Like, the great-eared nightjar. I am familiar with the bird, I believe. Great-eared nightjar. Oh yeah, the one that kind of looks like a feathery dragon. Look at this man. Look at him. Look at him. That's just me when I wake up in the morning. Apparently getting married is dramatic as fuck according to that song. Yeah, absolutely. Here is one of my more favorite ones. So it's called the Great Potu. And this is one of the birds of all time, that's for sure. Look at this thing. That is certainly a bird. It's one of the birds of all time. Like, it looks like this bird opens its mouth and a tornado siren comes out, you know? Like, am I wrong to say that? That's just me when I get jump scared in the game, absolutely. But anyway, enough about the birds for a second. I've got to get back to animating. I think I want to do a range for this so I can better visualize how fast it's going down the slope. I have a pic of a similar bird to that, really. I mean, to be fair, that was really funny for a reaction image. Either me or when someone says the most shocking thing, absolutely. My favorite bird, I have two favorite birds. The first one is a bit more blatantly obvious, it's the black palm cockatoo. Like, if anything, that's an aesthetic for me. But my second most favorite bird is the green heron. And if anyone's ever seen a video of the green heron, they know exactly why that is. Okay, so this should... Okay, yeah, it just shows me frames before and after. So this around frame 2. Like, I think if there was anything to animate in Blender, it would be the green heron. Let's scale this out a bit. Update paths. Might actually make this considerably longer. Because the thing I'm trying to keep here is parity between the movement off the ramp here, like there's going to be a bit of acceleration, but it's going to slowly start decelerating. I don't really have a favorite bird since I find all birds to be beautiful and amazing creatures. No, fair enough. I feel like if there was one that would spook you the most, it'd probably be the shoebill. But like, purely based on the fact that it looks like a half-mutated dinosaur. But shockingly enough, shoebills are actually very friendly to humans. So if I do this... So it rolls up. I'm sorry, what? Oh, right, the shoebill. This is a shoebill. Probably one of the most menacing looking things known to man. Google says my pick is of a great photo. Yeah. So like, it's worth noting that these are probably usually, I think they're about 1.5 meters tall, generally speaking. So these are like sort of chest height birds. And if you look up the YouTube video of one like making noise, it doesn't, well, I suppose it does make the usual bird squeaking sounds, but it clatters its bill and it sounds like a submachine gun. So I suppose if like you heard that in the middle of the night, you definitely would not want to be interacting with it. Isn't that thing like the closest to the terror bird dinosaurs? I would argue that the cassowary is a bit closer, but that's just me. Yeah, I think the thing with a 4-inch dagger attached to its feet is probably closer to a dinosaur. I'm going to... probably even drag this out a bit further. It's just getting a good enough finishing momentum for this. So if I start from here... Oh, look how goofy it is. It does. And to be fair, it's probably one of the more tame birds, because it prefers humans. It's sort of like an ostrich in that regard. Probably... do I need one less frame here? Maybe. Well, I do actually need to make this thing bounce, so... do just that. In fact, I'd probably even give this a frame or two. Maybe 2 frames extra just to account for the bounce that this is going to have. So I'll add another keyframe in here. And then around here, I need to grab these two. Probably not nearly that far though. Cards. Let's see how it looks first before I make the judgments. Okay, here's the thing, right, chat? Generally speaking, bowling balls do bounce a bit higher than that. So I'm just gonna pull this up again. Because I feel like I need to pull this reference up every single time I see it.
Rolling.
Please stop. So, the fact that this bounce is so high makes me want to add an extra bounce, but at the same time, the momentum of going down this way is probably going to cause the bounce to be even a little bit. Or even just, like, have it more towards, like... So maybe I actually want to push this forward a bit. There it is. I'm so zoomed in that, I'm seeing portions of frames now. So it comes in, bounces. So like, you wouldn't see it immediately, but you could definitely feel the fact that it's bouncing. I think. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of some of these. I love how as soon as I stretch my legs out onto the bed, Linus instantly gets up from laying down just to get on me. Honestly, Linus just probably prefers the comfy spot, and honestly, I can't blame him at all. Maybe I want to... Alright, let's try the breakdown. So, like, there's a breakdown halfway through, so maybe I want to maybe make that a bit further along. He purrs so loud. That's just Linus, though. Linus do be like that. So I grab these. Those. I don't know how that would feel though. I probably need to lower the side actually. So if I go back to frame 15 and adjust this so it's maybe not bouncing so much. Actually no, because it's already going down the thing anyway, so that would technically be correct. I don't know, I think it's just my brain telling me that it's wrong. If I had the time, I'd calculate the spring constant from that video and get the torque from the angle. First of all, what? Second of all, you're probably right. But, yeah, calculating the bounce would probably be for the best. But the problem is, if I wanted to do it for this specific scenario, I'd probably have to find a Rube Goldberg machine that has a bowling ball included that rolls down a slope similar in angle to this. Because unfortunately a straight up and down is not consistent with what the bounce would be like on an angle. Actually, I'm going to have a quick look because So my instructor actually has multiple videos, and one of them is this specific exercise. Chapter 4, Complex Obstacle Drop. Okay, so it actually pauses from the straight up and down. In fact, the starting point for the bowling ball is a bit further back. Which throws a wrench into my plans. But that is not unfixable, thankfully. So, further back you go. Oh great, more buffering, thanks Twitch. Average Twitch moment, honestly. So I'm going to dissolve frame 14% here. And I'm going to... Need to pull this back over. 0 meters. Actually, this needs to be in negative X now. Well, negative to me, anyway. Now, I can just drag this up a bit. Go. That is not the starting position I requested. So if we could have that starting position, that would be quite nice. It is the same starting position, apparently. Is it because one of these is ink? Could be. Actually, it's because this is no longer linear. Is what's going on there. It is not. Why is it doing this? Joys of animation. There is no reason why that should be moving. It's still doing the thing. Is it because this is different? Okay, it was just because of that. Alright, that's better. The angle can be calculated from 90 degrees using kinematic and Newtonian equations. Chad, do I tell them that I dropped out of math? Like, I didn't drop out of science necessarily, but I definitely dropped out of math. Also, I'm pretty sure that kinematics and Newtonian physics was a part of accelerated mathematics as well as science. Oof. Right, so... I mean, if you have, like, a link as to how to do that, that would be incredibly helpful. Okay, this needs to be... probably... this here. Okay, and then I can scale this so it starts at the top. Now I do need to add more time here. But unfortunately, this wants to angle now, and I do need to figure out where it's doing that specific movement. Probably this one here is not connected. Honestly, vector handles are a lifesaver in this assignment. In fact, I'm pretty sure most of the last animation was made up entirely of vector handles. So I'm gonna... Can I even show this on screen? Probably not. Yeah, almost definitely not. I'm going to insert a keyframe around about where send the links. You can, I believe I had messages on Twitch turned on. You can send them to me through Twitch messages. I should be able to see them. Is all YouTube? Yeah, that's fine. I can probably have a look at them off stream because I prefer not to have videos with audio playing on stream for copyright reasons, and you know, it's literally just copyright reasons. It's the same reason why I can't pull up the GIF of the example that my instructor has put on the submission page. Did I not put a keyframe here? Hello? Thank you. If I update paths, okay, there we go. Now I can see the keyframe. I don't know why it doesn't auto-update. And these ones... Like, I know he has, in his animation, it, like, slightly pauses at the top before going down, but... Okay, maybe I need to make this a little bit... frame rating. Probably a little bit further up. And then I need to readjust these now I've done that. I don't know why, but Twitch is not showing me that you sent me anything. Yeah, it's not showing any messages have been sent to me. Okay, that still needs to be moved along a bit. And then these need to be spaced a bit better. Let's try scaling these in a bit. Okay, it's not what I wanted. This is why I need to do the practice. These two. Paths. Okay, I'm gonna redo these. See if they're back to the range. I know it's gonna break a bunch of stuff, but that's whatever. Actually, these aren't even... Oh wait, they're aligned to 14, not... then next frame it goes far too far down. Let's turn all these back into 3 handles now that they're all lined. Like that. Like this one. Okay, not quite what I wanted. So now okay, that works a bit better. Like, I know logically it's supposed to move slightly when it hits the slope, but I'm not getting it. Also, it's way too slow at the bottom. Where is Frank? That is supposed to change back to vector after it's done. I guess I'm just gonna have to mess about with frame 18 specifically until I can get it to roughly what it's trying to get. And then this one needs to be set a bit. This one's scaled. Alright, that should be good. And then this one I need to edit the motion on. Let's give it... Is 2 enough? No, way too much. Give it another 2. Change these to maybe. Let's update the paths on this. Okay, now it feels like it's too slow. I swear to God, I can't deal with them. Can't deal with Poe. Are we having another thing with one of your family members again, Foxy? Okay, it's like it starts way too fast. I wouldn't wish animation upon anyone at this point. Okay, it still needs to be like a bit of momentum at the start there. Do I really need to add this? Good lord, I've already given it so many frames. Like, I wonder if the X is wrong. I go to the kitchen to get something to eat, and he walks in there and goes, "Did you get anything for your mother?" And he has been told multiple times that I cannot work and cannot get paid. Denser than a brick wall, huh? If he was really that desperate for you to do something, he would, like, at least try and help you fulfill. Yeah, I'm sorry that you have to deal with that, Foxy. It's like he's just on purpose being dumb about it. For real. Like, he should know this by now, because you've been home for a few weeks at this point. So, grab all of these. Add one more to this. So now... Okay, that should be alright. In fact, I might make this one frame shorter. That's a bit better. Now, this probably needs to be... Okay, I'm going to give this a slight amount of extension. Just to give a better ease off in here. Oh, he's doing it on purpose because early this morning he brought up the internet saying how I should be giving him $25 a month for it since I use it. Yeah, I mean... Especially considering the fact that he knows that you've been injured, you can't work, and he expects money from you? Like, come on, that's a bit rude. Like, I don't see him footing the goddamn insurance bill for all the bloody diagnostics that you've had to get. Let's give this 2 more frames. Alright, that looks okay. The worst part about this assignment is I've got 2 more after it. I'm gonna have to deal with beach balls. It's rough. Like, it's really rough. Okay, I'll just give this 2 more on both, maybe? Maybe it needs a bit more. Okay, yeah, that does feel a bit better. I still feel like it's a bit fast. Like, this should technically be a bit slower, but at the same time... He even made a comment on the amount of bills he has to pay, and I just went off on him. Honestly, completely valid. Like, it crosses the threshold. Like, it takes his animation like 50-something frames to get to the point. But in my case, it only takes, like... To that point here, it's 42 frames. So maybe... This needs to be extended by 2. We'll see. Okay, no, definitely not. It feels like too frozen if I try to do that. So I did say that I wanted 15 frames for the first contact point. Like, buddy, I have a shit ton of bills myself, and I'd be lucky that I saved up enough for him to be paid on. Sorry, hang on. That I saved up enough for him to be paid on, and still I can't earn anything. I'm gonna say that it says paid on time. So that's... yeah, the contact point's still like 44. Yeah, close enough, lol. Yeah. But, for real, like... I wouldn't say he's entitled, but, like, at the same time, he's not taking into account the current troubles you're having with your condition, so... I don't know what his deal is. I'm gonna extend these out a couple. I want to try and get the contact point relatively close to 50 frames. And also, once it makes contact with the basketball, it's actually supposed to slow down and stop. So I've actually, like, done all the rest of these frames for nothing. His deal is just that he's an asshole, always has been. Anyway, I'll stop now. I mean, if you need to complain, like, I'm still here to lend an ear. So, I'm going to... it's a shame you can't mute keyframes. If there is, I haven't found a way to yet. I'm gonna say 50's the last one. So now, I need to do something about this basketball. I'm gonna hide this. And the basketball's easy enough for now. So, frame 15. So that's already got one contact point. It's got one keyframe. Nope. So, frame 15. Make sure I've got this one specifically. Jesse was scratching at my door while I was typing, so I had to stop in between, let him in. Now he's on me. I mean, hey, at least Jesse's decided to pay you a visit, huh? Okay, so that's 15. Say up here, maybe. I'm sorry? Like, huh? Why is there no... did I not keyframe the... I could have sworn that I keyframed that. Jesse is good boy? I'm glad that Jesse is good boy. What the hell did I keyframe that? Whatever. Insert keyframe there, insert keyframe there. Sent a few whispers, probably a lot of info. My bad. Physics was my hyperfixation uni. Honestly, completely understandable and probably one of the better hyperfixations you have. You know, coming from the person whose hyperfixation back in high school was one specific YouTuber, I can tell you it could be a lot worse. Jesse is good boy. He knows when I'm frustrated or upset and always wants to comfort me. Yeah, it's really nice. Cats just know, you know? Okay, I just want the body bone for the basketball. I don't want the root. Go away. There's no reason for the root to be there. Oh, thank you, Foxy, for getting that. I didn't even see it that time. It didn't show up in chat. Ha, that band was mine. Nice job. It was so fast that, like, I looked away for 1 second. I looked back and, like, immediately there's a band. Nice job. You finally got one up on me, Foxy. Ah, it's the body transform. Okay, delete those. Because there is no reason for that to be like that. Pose mode. Okay, I need to, like, control Z a bunch of this stuff. What the hell did I do? For some reason, it just automatically went back into object mode as opposed to pose mode, which is where I wanted it to be. Rude ass thing. I have training my friend JB streams fast banning. Yeah. And yet still somehow slower than me sometimes. So first one was about 5 meters. So I probably want to have this like about 2.5. Locked in their element, get wrecked, noob. On God. Like, that bot stood no chance at all. I thought I had this. On the correct frame. There we go. And then 5. Let's grab this. I'm gonna hide the X location for a second, because that's not quite. Well, my hand isn't always on my mouse, so that's why, but when it is, I'll be fairly quick, yeah. I think the same could be said for a lot of us who have a ridiculous amount of experience moderating stuff. Like, nobody's gonna know this joke except for Foxy. You know, RB Battles Season 2 and 3. More specifically, 2, I believe it was. If you know, you know. I don't get it. Okay, so for context, Foxy PTSD, yeah. So Foxy and I would moderate for for some Roblox YouTubers. And RV Battles or Roblox Battles was a popular event back in the day. And it was like one of those, how do I put it? It's like a live event. It's like you could watch the videos live and it would be specific YouTubers going head to head in whatever games. And people loved putting in spoilers. And us moderators had a hell of a time trying to prevent people from spoiling things. Like, it was rough. Actually, let's have space between these ones. Okay, so these ones. So this one needs to be at least a smidge lower. So that's half of that. So that's 1.5 as opposed to. Oh, okay, that needs to be. I just realised. So that's about. So roughly that here. So then this one needs to be a bit lower. Not to mention the spammers. I mean, like, there's always spammers, but it was hard to snipe everything during, especially the season finale. Like, that was absolutely rancid. Like, it was rough. Yeah, but they got bots for spam now. Watch this. Yeah, here's the thing, right? All of the, like, YouTubers, obviously, they terminated. Yeah. Maybe don't piss off Nightbot too much would be my advice. I'm planning on doing something about Nightbot. I want to switch out to, like, StreamerBot or something like that. But the unfortunate thing is, because it was being, like, everyone was streaming live to YouTube, most of them didn't have Nightbot. I don't think I need to tell y'all why that is a problem. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then GC. Yep. Like, the reason I have a bot is because I don't want my moderators doing everything. Because, I mean, like, they're people too. They deserve a bit of a break sometimes. 3, 3. And then this one here. Now I need to... This is going probably a little slow, so I'm gonna remove one off each of these. It took a second for it to delete and I panicked. Yeah, don't you hate it when the bot just doesn't quite prove your example right away? That's a bit rough. This. Scale these a bit. Actually, I'll just even... now's probably a good time to do a little bit of calculation, and I'm going to do a round frame. So that needs to be scaled at the top. Ah, we're encountering this again. So these two need to be falling at the same rate, but it's not. So it gets correct up to there, then it starts doing some weird stuff. I probably want to... Which one is that? I believe it's this one that does it. Yep. Bit more. Nah, just say wind resistance. Here's the thing, right? These animations don't take wind resistance into account, unfortunately. Like, these are basically expected to be done in a vacuum. As much as I would love to have that excuse, I'd probably get failed for it. Like, these assignments are rough. Like, it's not called a boot camp for nothing in this case. Like, I love Wayne, he's a great instructor, however... I am not mentally built for this. And that's coming from the person who inadvertently took the 8-week crash course. And the crash course was rough on me. If I do this. So the arcs on the basketball need to be changed. They are too sharp. You know what's hilarious? I say that, but I'm looking at the last two animations I'd have to do. I'm gonna pull this up so y'all can laugh at this. Where is the lesson file for this? It is up one, down one, exercise. So where is... Okay, so we've got 5C and 5D. So I'll put 5D, which is technically the last one of this set. Just so y'all have a preview for this. As you can see, there is a beach ball there. Looking at the animation, there's a beach ball that is blown around by the wind. So I have to figure out how to excuse the wind when there is no wind resistance on literally everything else. It doesn't make sense, and unfortunately at this point I am too afraid to ask. And then these two here need to be scaled out. And then scale this one. So thankfully it seems that this contact point here, like I could just faff this a little bit, like maybe make it 1 frame sooner, probably this section here, or 2 frames sooner. So when this goes to bounce, it will immediately make contact here, because this is contacting on frame 43. So when this contacts, it's going to slow the momentum of this one here, and it's going to fling this forward. That's the hope anyway. So if I scale these actually, need to scale these two. So if I look at this one specifically in a vacuum, I'm going to hide this for now. And then back to this. Impact frames. Are we really gonna do impact frames on this? Probably not. Oh, I love how, like, there's just hyperactive bonk emotes on Twitch. I'm sorry, I can't take that seriously. Anyway, I thought I made this invisible. I made the channels invisible, not the actual rig. Right, there we go. I don't need to animate any more bounces than this because it is going to be bonked by the bowling ball. That should be fine. So, I'm actually lucky that I managed to get hit on exactly the frame that this hits the top of its arc. So that means I don't have to add any additional keyframes to this. Now, frame 50. Actually, do I want this to be on the ground? I feel like the bowling ball is too fast. Okay, I'm gonna show this on stream. Don't narc chat. So this is what the instructor has done for their animation, or his animation rather. And like the basketball is basically already stopped by the time that the bowling ball makes contact. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And like it's already hitting down on the 4th. I wish I could like pause the GIF. Like it's already heading towards a stop at this point. So 1, 2, 3. It feels like the bouncing itself is fine. In fact, I'd even say it's a little bit fast. Scale these. The last bounce on the GIF is slowed to match the bowling ball. Is it? Hang on. Is it? Oh, it is actually. Also, can I just say that the first bounce hangs in the air for slightly too long? Like, is it wrong for me to say that? But yeah, you're right. It actually does slow down a little bit. Cheeky. Also, I feel like the bowling ball, like, rolling on the slope, like this section here at the start, I feel like mine's actually slightly faster than his. Like, if anything, I feel like it's one frame. Where it just doesn't do anything. Oops, weird. Okay, can I just point out this one, chat? And this one annoys me a little bit. So this GIF here, can y'all see what the problem with this one is? And like, I feel like even Foxy should be able to immediately point out what's wrong with this one. I hate it. Yeah. To be fair, it is a little bit janky. But the problem I have with this specific one is this here. The ball stops when it hits this ramp after it bounces. It freezes. And I'm gonna go back to the Rube Goldberg thing from earlier. If you've ever seen a Rube Goldberg machine, you know damn well that ball is traveling up that slope slightly further. And, like, mine isn't that much better, however, I'm gonna pull this back up because I'm pretty sure, Likely Autistic hasn't seen this one. Because I did before they showed up yesterday. So this is the version that I did for this one. I mean, at some point the velocity is 0, but it doesn't freeze for that long. And it certainly doesn't freeze that soon. So if I do this variation, which is the one that I made, the acceleration on the second ramp could use some work, but mine actually bounces uphill slightly before coming to a stop and going down the other direction, which I am like 95% certain after all of the things that I've seen of this specific type of physics interaction that this is actually the way it's supposed to look. And I haven't done rotation, and quite frankly, rotation would send me into a mental breakdown this week, so I am not even going to bother. Anyway, I'm going to save this before I lose the file. Because I would hate for that to happen. Go up to files, hobby practice, lesson 5B. Actually, 5B. Action. Nope. But yeah, that specific one kind of irks me a bit. So I'm just gonna keep the 3 bounces on this one. I might... Okay, let's see. How many frames we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what I can probably do, and this might be cheating just slightly, I'm going to move... Nope. I'm going to move this one by 1 frame to the right here. And while this is probably... The rotational velocity should match the tangent velocity. Oh, absolutely. So, by the time that... I'll just quickly do this so I can see what I'm doing. And remove the annotations temporarily. Actually, I can just remove them permanently for the time being. So, that shouldn't be too fast. Well, it shouldn't be noticeable in this interaction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 1, 2. So it decreases by 2 frames every bounce, and I think that reads just slow enough. Well, it reads just fast enough where it shouldn't... Like, it shouldn't be too fast, is what I'm saying. So at this point, like, at the bottom here... Ah, but that is a bit too steep, isn't it? It's a little bit hard to see with the thing here, so I'm gonna half that. So I can see the bounce. It sort of snaps, doesn't it? Probably want these to be slightly and a little bit. Frame 39. So it like hovers around 42. So I'm not sure if that is a good idea or not. You know, I'm gonna say fuck it, that's good enough. So now, when it's bouncing, yeah, now that looks like a better contact point here. So, on frame 43, it's already going down. So, at this stage of the bounce, I'm going to delete that. And then, say, 5 frames later, I'm going to have this over... Yeah. Caught myself looking for my physics notebook. I'm not going to do that and hashtag get shit done. Have a good stream. Alright, thank you for stopping by, Likely. Thanks for all the information. I'll have a look at it after stream. Appreciate it. Okay, that's way too soon, and it's supposed to... now here's the thing, it no longer makes contact on that specific frame. That's a little bit frustrating. How many times have I told this thing to not move in the y-axis? This should be locked. Okay, so now it's on frame 43. I probably have to insert another keyframe here before I move this. So now frame 45, just G and exit. Like, this isn't the specific way that my instructor wanted this to be done, I'm certain, but this is just what he's gonna have to deal with. I don't know what to tell you other than the fact that this is just the way this particular assignment has gone for me. So... okay, definitely shouldn't be moving that fast. I'll grab this. 7. Maybe even a bit further. And this one needs to slow down at the edge. So on the contact frame, frame 3, I need to insert the frame here. And then this needs to slow to stop. So handle time line. Actually, let's just do this one. Or check frame 3. Oh god, no. I just realized that I've accidentally gone into object mode again. You need to be in pose mode. What the fuck do you think you're doing? Okay, get that in. Set the handle type to 3. Something, something, insert Freebird joke here. This. Okay, that's steeper. I don't want steeper. Guess I'll hop off for the night because I fall asleep in my chair like I usually do. Yeah, you have a good night, Foxy. I just realized I read that wrong. That says before, not because. Good night, Psycho. Good night, Foxy. Have a good sleep. Okay, this here needs to be busy, eh? Parts. Probably need to grab this. Okay, maybe a little bit more. And then this needs to bounce off somehow. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. This certainly needs to move a bit below. So this needs to... Actually, this is supposed to be moving the X. Why have I got the Z axis? Yeah. Yep. So if I change this to... Probably actually, given the angle that this hits... Oh no, actually it is relatively decent. Probably needs to have like a slight arc to it, but like not a huge amount. So I just realized this is definitely not the correct position. So if I grab these two, and... Never mind. Okay, I guess I have to auto clamp these two. This three. So that's that. It feels a bit weird to not have an arc on this. Going to so how many frames we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So frame 46. Or maybe even so bounces like that. Probably even a bit higher. Cars. Yeah, and then it will probably recoil off of this slope. Because obviously it's not going to like go there and it's just going to roll off. It's going to bounce back the other direction. So context this, and then the next frame, even just frame 52. Okay, it's definitely not where that should be. This. So yeah, it hits that. Which, by the way, this should probably be vector. I don't know why it's slowing down at the end. It should not be. Is it because of the x-axis? Most likely. Handle type vector. So now it does that. And it should bounce back in the other direction. And then these two need to be vectored, or just even at the very least moved. Vector that one. Do these also need to be vectored? And then that's going to be bounced in the other direction. So it's going to bounce. That probably even needs to be slightly lower. And then frame 54 clips into the bowling ball. Could probably stand to be slightly further away. In fact, I'm going to do that now. I've made this so much more difficult for myself than I absolutely need to, but here we are, I suppose. Okay, so bounces. And to be honest, this technically has no practical use. The only reason I'm doing this is to develop the ability to animate. Probably needs to be slightly further up. And then, so it bounces like that. And then when this contacts, the bowling ball should like move back in the other direction slightly, and then the basketball maybe drop down. I feel like this probably is moving a bit too fast. Yeah, it feels like it hooks instead of... Because it doesn't bounce back in the same angle, obviously. Probably even... I think the way it is like that is because it's too slow. It needs to be a bit snappier. I think I know what the problem is. I think it's contacting the bowling ball a bit further up than it should. So if I, like, bring that down. Grab this. Like that. Why is it? Oh, it's because there's a frame on 52. Actually, that might be the wrong position now that I think about it. That paths. Let's do this in the right position this time. Because there still needs to be an arc there. I can't understand what I'm doing wrong on this one. Well, thankfully I have a week of rest before I figure out what I'm going to be doing with this animation stuff, because next week is modeling week. And I think I'm not certain as to which one I'm going to do yet, but I think it might be modeling challenges. And the only reason for that is because I only have about half the week to stream this coming week. Because I have 3 different appointments on 3 different days, and I'll be honest, that's a little bit annoying. Like, most of the time I don't even make the appointments directly, they just get assigned to me. I wonder if I... I'm gonna save a different version of this. Save, copy, paste about interaction, blank. I'm gonna change this one to be roughly similar to the instructor's one instead, because this physics-based one is giving me a slight headache. So, grab all these keyframes and delete those. Grab that one, delete that. So this is 1, 2. Copy. Oh, no, what do you mean no data? I literally just copied. There we go. I guess I need to do some stuff with this. I'm going to set this to auto clamp and set this one to auto clamp as well, but now I'm also going to set this to effective. Alright, that should be good. Alright, I'm gonna do something about this bowling ball so I can make it go slightly slower. Is there any way I can make this slower? Okay, I can probably make this a couple frames slower. Maybe just make this. Oh, I just realized that this is not a vector handle. Oh, that could be a little bit of an annoyance. I didn't even realize these weren't vectored. Okay, these top ones probably don't need to be vectored, but these bottom ones definitely do. Okay, so now if I update the paths. Okay, so the contact point on this one just needs to be 1 frame later. But if I add an extra frame to this one, it's going to be too slow. So somehow I need to make this one frame over towards this side. Hell, like, even with frame 45, I could probably get away with making this. Actually, hang on, I've just realized that I've been editing this one the entire time. That's a bit silly. Wait, how have I been editing this one? Huh? Oh, wait, here we go. So, frame 45, if I move this along, and the X just a bit, and then update these. So now I can get away with rolling, like, forcing this to roll uphill. And then, like, the next frame would bounce up the hill a bit. That should be fine. I think I might end off stream here. Like, this is a pretty difficult lesson to do. I mean, nobody raised me to be a coward, so I am going to end up finishing it eventually, but not right this second. Do I have anyone to raid tonight? Does not look like it. Check though. No. Alright, anyway, I shall end off the stream there. Hopefully I have a better plan of what I'm going to do for the next week. Like, I'm not going to do any major projects, obviously, because I'm going to be gone for like half the week, but I'm sure I'll figure out something. I shall see y'all tomorrow then.